Hey everyone, this lesson is on something you've probably reviewed for you, but we'll go through it and maybe spend a little bit more time thinking about when, which kind of situations each one of them are good for. So the things I'm talking about are mean, median, and mode, which are called, in a more fancy terminology, central tendency. They give you an idea of center, in quotes, of the data. So what we're talking about is like the average, or the average of a bunch of marks. That's what we're kind of talking about. But average, which is the mean, is just one of the methods you can do mathematically to get that value, the center of the numbers. So we'll look at the other two as well and remind you of what each of these things look like. So just to get us going on this, I have an example here where a boss of a car sales company, like a used car company or whatever, they're trying to make a decision as to which salesperson deserves a bonus, okay, based on how well they did during these months. So we have Jasmine and we have Philip, and we have these monthly sales. And the question is, who's a better salesperson, right? So I think most people would probably go ahead and calculate the average. Okay, the average, or the other word for that is the mean. Okay, that one's the most commonly used, I would say, and probably what the boss might use for this. And so let's run the numbers and see what that looks like, and then compare it to the others, right? So if we have Jasmine, we have the average would equal, so let's do the average equals, and so picture the 26 plus the 16 plus dot, dot, dot. Let's just symbolize adding all those up. And then we divide by the total number of numbers, right? So the average equals all the numbers added up and divide by the number of them, which is just 6 in this case. So we end up with, just run the numbers here easily enough. And let's go just enough space there, I think. So the 26 plus the 16 plus the 22, 4, and the 30, and the 24. We're getting 142. So divide that by 6. 142 divided by 6. So Jasmine has an average of 23.7 or so car sales per month. Philip has an average of similar work here, 22 plus 30 plus, add them all up, 5 by 6. That one is 22. Move. I can see it all now. So 22 plus the 30 plus the 26 plus the 2, the 24, and the 20. Divide that by 6, so it's 144. Divided by 6 gives us 24. So based on that calculation, the boss says, congratulations, Philip, you get the bonus. Okay. Jasmine might not be okay with this, and she might think, hey, what about these other methods that she's learned about in math class? And so she looks at the mean, which is the number that splits the data in half. Okay, you put them in order. So key part of the process, if this was like a how-to list, it'd be like first step, put them in order, and then identify the middle number, right? So let's do this. We've got Jasmine. Again, so if we put these in order, the smallest one's 16. And then what do we have? The next is the 22. And the 24s, 2 of them. And then the 26 and the 30. Okay, so the middle of these, you can tell there's like 3 on each side, right? That's the middle. So in this case, you can tell we have an even number of numbers. And so for even number of numbers, you have to do the average of the middle 2. Okay, so for even numbers of data, we have to do the average of the middle two. So you can see that 24 plus 24 divided by 2 is just going to give us 24, of course. And we'll keep going. So for Philip, we have what numbers here? Smallest one is 20, and 22, 22. And 24, 26, 30. 26, 30. There we go. Right? So same deal here. The middle essentially is there. So we're going to be averaging that as well. So we're going to have the 22 plus the 24 divided by 2, which is 46 divided by 2, which is only 23. So then Jasmine brings this to the boss's attention saying, but wait a minute, my median is higher. And in fact, you know, in marks for classes, right, the schools always ask for the class medians, right? Class median in school records is in fact what I tend to get asked for, rather than averages of class grades. And we can talk about why that would be for later on as well. And then the third type is a little more niche, let's say. It's not always the most representative one, but it's the most common number. Okay, so if you look at the most common number in each person, so let's tee this up here. Jasmine and Philip. Jasmine's most common number was 24. And there's a 24 and a 24, right? Philip's most common number was 22. So 22. So, you know, based on mean, median, and mode combined, Jasmine wins on the better numbers on 2 out of the 3. So maybe a surprising result, right? That average doesn't necessarily mean the best when it comes to car sales records, I guess. Looks like that anyways, the way the data is working out, right? So these are some more examples of each of those. I'll just maybe leave those for now, but you know, you can calculate the average and calculate the median mark. And this one here, let's maybe just look at this for a second here. We've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them, right? So if you have 7 data points, there's actually an actual middle. So this is one of the ones where there's an odd number of data. And so in which case the median is literally just the middle mark. Middle number itself, so a class median of 89. In this case here, there's the middle is there, so you can see here there's 3 on either side of that number. In other words, there's like you can't really split it up as 3 and 3. It would have to be 4 and 3. Here, because it's an even number, then it's an average. So this is a good one for us to do to make sure even number of data, right? You need average, as we did on the other page. Right, so this would be the 63 plus the 67 divided by 2. So in this case, the median, over here, the median is 89. And over here, the median would be whatever 63 plus 67 divided by 2 is, right? So 63 plus 67 divided by 2 gives us 65. 2 separate data points. So we're not really comparing these, but just showing the process, right? We have an odd number, then it's literally just the middle number. And if we have an even number of data points, right? Even number of data, then it's the middle, the average of the middle two. Okay, so that's the only one that kind of needed maybe some extra clarification and whatnot. This one's just add them up, divide by the number of them. This one's just which one's most common. Okay, and you can see mode would work well. Maybe in this situation, if you had a large number of shoes sold, and you'd be like, okay, well, what's the most common size that's being sold in this brand of shoe or type of shoe? And you can be like, the mode is 7, right? You can see the value of that for a shoe store. Be like, that's the one they need to order the most of, right? All right, so this example here, the goal is to help you see why or when, what types of number situations mean, median, and mode would be good for. And so with this number set of class marks, so 62, 62, 65, 68, 70, 71, 72, and a 98 and a 99, picture what would happen if you averaged, right? You have all of these are in the ballpark of a 60% range, give or take a little bit, right? And then you have these two that are kind of like way different. If you average all those, it's going to pull that average way up, okay? So here, I would say, mean wouldn't be a good choice, basically, we're saying, because it would pull those up. So these would pull the average up. Not really represent the center anymore as a result, right? So mean tends to be good when there's not any numbers that are way out of whack in comparison to the rest. And those are going to be called outliers soon once we define specifically what it means to be an outlier. Right? Those 8, 98, 99s may or may not be actually statistically considered outliers. We could come back and do that once we get the box whisker plot. Kind of funny name, but once we get that lesson under our belt. So median, right? Median in this case would be good if there are outliers, because if you look at the middle of these numbers, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them. So we're going to have 4 and 4 and a 1 in the middle, right? So we have the 4 on each side of that with the 1 in the middle. The median number ends up being a 7. Right? The median just equals 7D, sorry. And then mode, it depends. I don't think mode, this is an example of where mode kind of breaks down here, right? The mode in this case is, 62. Well, that doesn't really represent the center of anything, does it? So the mode in this case, we have this, and it's like, I don't know, that's not great. I think you'd have to have like a larger number of data points, like in a shoe store, like a whole bunch of shoe sales, and we have these sizes. The one that's most common, obviously, has a meaning, right? Whereas here, the one that's the most common, there's too many data points, like too much variation in the data points. If there was marks of either 60, 70, or 80, then maybe that would make more sense, because there's a bunch of 60s, or there are a bunch of 70s, or a bunch of 80s, right? So I find there's too much variation in the numbers for mode to be as reliable. Right? So if you go with like the level system, level 2, 3, 4, that would work better. So mode for level 2, 3, or 4 might make more sense, okay, than individual percents. Especially if you broke it down to decimals, like what are the odds? There's another one of a 62.4, kind of thing. Just that doesn't mean as much. So certainly here, I think you can see that median is going to be better. Those 89 or 98 and 99, I added one in, are kind of way off from the pattern. And so if we just went ahead and did the average, we'd add this all up: 62 plus 62 plus ... divide by 9. Right? Let's see what that comes out to be. So here we go. 62 plus 62 plus 65 plus 68 plus 70 plus 71 plus 72. And I feel like if we had just taken that number, maybe I'll write it down for now just to test something out here. That 470 number. Now we're adding these substantially higher grades, 98 and 99, getting this number. When I divide by 9, I feel like the average is drawn upwards by those big numbers, right? So this is a 74.11 number. If we had have gone with that 470 divided by what we'd have 7 numbers, right? 470 divided by 7, I feel like might be a better representation of the data, right? So you get that, and it's like 67.1. And so, mind you, it is below by almost as much, but not quite as much, but 67.1, right? feel like that might be a better representation for the data. And so basically the idea is, if you ignored these numbers, if they truly are outliers, then you get rid of them. And then you say, okay, well then the average would be 67.14 if you get rid of those outliers. So that's kind of the idea. And you can see this on a graph too, right? That 98 and 99 way up here on the record, my 98 and 99, 99 slightly higher or whatever, they're way off of the pattern of the rest of it, right? You've got your mean at this level or so, depending on, I changed the numbers, but I didn't change this page. So what were our numbers? We had, forgot to change the other page. We had a median of 70. So median is the green one, and it's supposed to be 70. Oh boy, going south on me here. All right, so that's supposed to be there. And the mode is way down at 62. And the mean, the green one, was up at, get my numbers straight here. Median was 70, the mean was 74. So 70 for the mean, 74, something like that. And so you can see like these numbers up here, right, dragged this average up. Okay. Even the median itself, I'd almost expect to be sort of more down here, but it's closer to where it should be when you're analyzing the numbers. Okay. So that's the sort of deeper thought to do with mean, median, and mode, and thinking about when one is appropriate in comparison to the other types. Yeah. So practice pages at the beginning there, of course, as always, there's some extra information included about the previous material as well, a little bit of review for you. So start it with mean, median, mode, basic, and so on. But yeah, hopefully that works for you. There's distribution types continued as well as a reminder of that stuff, so you don't only just see it once. And yeah. All right. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you very much.